So in this video, we're going to cover the benefits and the negatives of each grip and arm posture. We're going to start with hammer grip. Hammer grip is very simple. You will grab the sword like it's a hammer. Okay? The benefits and the negatives of hammer grip. One benefit is we get a little bit of extra range because we can choke back if we want to or hold it higher up. We have decent cuts and decent mobility here. If they get past our tip, we can still get to these hanging guards. Your cuts are decently strong and you have okay tip control, but you use more energy. The next grip we'll be covering is single finger grip. Single finger grip is similar to hammer grip, except you're going to loop your first finger around here just like this. Okay? The benefits and the negatives of single finger grip is we lose about an inch from hammer grip because our hand is further up. But we gain better tip control, we gain more power, especially on our cuts because we can pull the fingers tight and the hands tight. We also have better tip control and it uses less energy than hammer grip. For some, it still consumes a decent amount of energy though, but we have a lot of good mobility. We can still get to our hanging guards. We have a good amount of precision and we have a good amount of strength. Next up, we're going to cover two finger grip. Two finger grip is where we have two fingers over instead of one. Very simple. The benefits of two finger grip is we gain even more precision and we gain strength in the bind and strength overall. Now, some things that we do lose is we do lose our mobility. The hanging guards are a little bit harder to get to and the cuts become a little bit more chunky. We also lose about an inch of range because we've added another finger up. Next up, we have thumb grip. Thumb grip is similar to hammer grip, except you'll turn the sword over and you'll place your thumb on top like this. You can either have your thumb up or you can have your thumb back. This is one of the benefits of thumb grip is that we can have added range. Some more benefits of thumb grips, and one of my favorite uses for it, is it allows for very nimble disengages and tip control. For example, if I'm in single finger grip and I were to attack someone's outside and I go to disengage, this is going to be a bigger movement than if I were to attack the outside in thumb grip and simply drop my wrist down for a faster disengage. We also gain a little bit of range, but we do become weaker in the bind, and for some it does use more energy. The cuts from here are also not great. Now what we also have is Tibble Grip. Tibble Grip is similar to thumb grip, except you start in single finger grip, you turn the sword to the left, and you put your thumb on top just like this. Some of the benefits and negatives of this Tibble Grip is one, we can't choke back, so we did lose a little bit of range. We still have our nimbleness of thumb grip, and we're slightly stronger in the bind, especially pushing towards the outside, but we lose a little bit of cutting ability. Thumb grip, we have a little bit more strength on the inside, but in this Tibble Grip, we have a little bit more strength on the outside. Next up, we have trigger grip. Trigger grip is similar to single finger, except you're going to bring your finger further down and loop just this top knuckle around it, or you're going to point forward like this. I don't prefer the pointing method because your finger can get hurt, especially if you have a closed hilt and someone pushes into it. You could smash your finger, but it is a bit easier to just point and move. So let's cover some benefits and negatives of trigger grip. One is we get a little bit of added extra range from single finger grip, and we get pretty good precision. One of the ways that I like to disengage from trigger grip is just turning my palm over, especially for this feint, and turning the palm over, and also using it palm down like this allows me to do a different type of thrust where I keep my blade at an angle and simply extend my tip forward, keeping my protection radius, and at the very end, pointing and extending. So what it looks like is this, and then that last bit of extension. It gives you a very fast attack as well, but cuts from here are not very good at all, and you are very weak in the bind. Now we're going to cover the arm postures. We have bent arm posture, where the blade and your arm make an L shape with your arm being bent. Bent arm posture is similar to single finger grip. You have good disengages, you have good tip control, you have great cuts, you have really good mobility if they get past your tip, but it can cost a little bit of energy. I also think you can block the hand shots easier here, as they may target here, but they usually have to go through the strong of your sword, and when they get to the angle, it's easy to make a good adjustment. Next up, we have straight arm posture. So bent arm posture, straight arm posture. Straight arm posture is similar to two-finger grip. Straight arm posture, we have good disengages, and we're a little bit stronger, but we really lose a lot of mobility here, and these cuts become a lot more difficult and chunky to make. Once they get past our tip, we also lose a lot of the ability to get to our hanging guards, and to cross parry across the body can be a lot harder here than if you are in that bent arm posture. But it does use less energy. I think the arm shots are a lot easier to hit here, especially because if the tip gets offline, then your wrist is a lot more easily exposed. The reason these grips and arm postures are important is because you want to use one depending on your goals. For a good example, if I want to be really strong in the bind, I could combine the benefits of two-finger grip and straight arm posture, and now I have very strong parries and movements. Maybe I want to be very nimble in the bind and have a bit of extra range because my opponent is strong in the bind. So I might use thumb grip, which can counter the strength in his bind and can give me a little extra range that he simply lost on two-finger grip. Depending on the opponent and my goals, I will usually change the grips that I want based on my goal. Another important thing about the grips and the arm postures is they affect which parries you can do more easily and which routes you might want to take. For example, if I'm in a low guard, straight arm posture, then now this false edge steel wall parry feels very well. But my flat false edge steel wall parry and my true edge steel wall parry from the wrist don't feel great. But if I'm in a low guard single finger grip, now my flat steel wall parry feels good, and so does my true edge. But my false edge steel wall parry doesn't feel as strong.